Rosedale, and I'm the co-founder of Fidelity and the founder of Second Life.
So how did you start your entrepreneurial career? What inspired you?
Well, I got out of school in '92, and actually before then I had started building business systems with my programming background, which I was self-taught since I was a younger kid. And came to San Francisco in 1994 and discovered the internet, same as everybody else, and started working on transmitting video over the internet, which in the early 90s was hard, mostly over modem connections. And so that got me into that, but my big dream was always to work on using the internet and using computers to create a big virtual world, which is what I did with Second Life and what I'm still doing today with Fidelity.
Great. So if you had 5 minutes with an entrepreneur before they kind of went out into the world, what would you tell them?
Well, pick something to do that's genuinely useful, where you're so many opportunities to make new things right now that really are things people need and want. And I'd say as an entrepreneur, look only for the opportunities right now where you actually are, able to make something that is really different, that is of use to people, and then personally very passionate about it. I think all of my success has come from, not any kind of specific skill set or anything like that, or even persistence, but instead just that I was really passionate about the things I was working on, and that made it really work for me, and I think it can for everybody.
So talk a little bit about what you think about when you think of invention and innovation, and do you see a difference, or describe that?
Well, I think innovation, we can sort of seek to use emerging new technologies in creative ways. Invention, I guess, is perhaps more that original moment of, just complete making something up that people have. I say they're pretty close. I mean, like I say, as technology continues to create more and more changes resting on top of each other, the importance of invention and innovation in business success becomes greater and greater. The successful business people of 50 years ago were mostly marketing or extending something that was already there. The successful business people in the last 2 decades have almost entirely built completely new things.
So talk a little bit about what it takes to build an entrepreneurial ecosystem. The Valley has a reputation for that, but I think it's more myth than reality. So talk about your view of that.
Yeah, I wasn't originally from Silicon Valley or from San Francisco. I was from San Diego, so I definitely came into it as a fresh set of eyes, and I've been fascinated over the last about 20 years that I've been here, just watching everything that's been happening. Here's the deal. What's happening in San Francisco and Silicon Valley is that because there is such a high density of people doing similar things, new technology startups, there is a willingness. Two things that are happening. One is there's a willingness to share ideas with each other because it doesn't really matter. There's so many good ideas floating around here that if somebody takes your idea and steals it, maybe it was better for them to have it anyway. Maybe you should work on something else. So there's a willingness to, without signing NDAs, share what we're working on that you only see here, and I've been all over the world, you only see it here, and it's very special. And then the second thing is simply that there's safety in numbers. There's so many people working on startups here that when your startup fails, you can very quickly transition onto another one, and that's something that's driven by the open culture, the sheer density of entrepreneurs, and all the coffee shops and spaces where people interact. And that, I believe, is the other thing that makes San Francisco and Silicon Valley profoundly different than, say, New York or London as a startup place.
Talk about speed in the Valley, what that means.
Well, technology is enabling us. Entrepreneurs are always going to compete to find the fastest way of doing things because there's significant, business competitive advantage in being first. What I would say is happening even more so here is that everybody here is ruthless about using the latest technologies that will let you do things fastest, and then not reinventing or even doing things that you're not good at. So there's a tremendous amount of outsourcing of pieces and parts of everybody's business, and I think we do that pretty effectively here, where we just don't have components of our business that might take more time to build that aren't unique, that we don't need.
So it lets you focus on the core and move faster.
Yep.
Talk about funding and what that does for an early startup.
Well, obviously you need money to run a startup. The observation I would make most recently is don't raise too much money. I think people out here think that raising money is a sign of success. It means nothing. It means absolutely nothing. If you don't have a product yet, you still don't have a product. Now you have money.
Entrepreneurs, it's a big liability, not a stepping stone.
Yeah, and the big thing I say is don't raise too much, especially in a hyper excited market like we're in a time of excitement right now. You know, we're at the top of the curve. In those times, you don't want to overfund a good idea because you'll make it fail just by doing that. You'll literally put too much money into it and create expectations that are too high, and you'll fail even though your idea was right. And I think that's a real lesson that I try to give to the entrepreneurs I mentor and run into.
So would you say fund to the appropriate scale? Is that what you're saying, Mason?
Hard to say what appropriate is, right? But I mean, do the minimum. Raise the minimum amount of money that allows you to demonstrate whatever you think the next step is for your business. Only that and nothing more, regardless of how tempting it may be or how good the times may seem.